Welcome back, everybody, to A&M Reviews. It's Muhammad and Adrian. We're here to review the film Fantasy Island. This movie came out way back whenever movie theaters were still open. They might be open in some other places, but I'm not going. The gist of this movie is basically these 4 or 5 strangers all reserve a spot to this island where all their dreams or fantasy can come true. Each of them has a different fantasy that they want to see come to fruition, and Michael Pena is the orchestrator of all of these. His name is Mr. Roarke. That's what everybody calls him, and he basically grants everybody's wishes. They can only have one fantasy that can come about, and each of them gets to live a part of the fantasy. But of course, things happen, and this is supposed to be a horror movie, but a lot of things happen. But what did you get from Fantasy Island?
Yeah, Fantasy Island is, I doubt any of you listeners remember, but if you Google Fantasy Island, you'll see there's a TV series in the 70s, same premise, where you come to this island and your greatest fantasies can come true. And sometimes it's like the genie theory, where sometimes what you wish for isn't exactly what you think it is. And the TV show talked about that, but this kind of takes it to a darker realm. Or at least it appears to, and then it ends in being like, well, I don't really know if it was the island, but I thought it was pretty good. I think it was a nice nod to the original Fantasy Island, with the premise and some of the little Easter eggs here and there, but things that the viewers of this film probably would never notice, because the people that watch that TV show are not watching this movie. So it sets itself up in the trailers to be pretty creepy, pretty scary. A horror film even. But it's more of a drama and thriller at moments until you know what's going on. It's only scary for maybe 10, 15 minutes. And some jump scares here and there. But other than that, it's just a story about people getting their wishes and going through with it and seeing what that is like on this magical island. Well, see, this is the trouble I have, because it actually took a really positive tone as well, the wishes the island granted. But the twist that comes in the movie, it begs to question, was that the island or was it just this person? Okay.
I'm going to say this movie kept moving the goalposts, or the goal of this movie, because once you think it's going down a certain path, it changes suddenly to something else. Now this happens, now this happens, now this happens, until it's just a confusing mess by the end of the movie. Now, I did enjoy most of it. I went along for the ride, even though some of the rules that they set up during the beginning of the movie kind of got broken. But I think that they had pretty good camera work, but that's not going to make up for the rest of the movie.
Yeah. On a scale of like, I don't know, like the movie like Truth or Dare and those silly thriller movies they do every year. I don't understand how Final Destination, right? It's Sharknado. It's better than those films, I think. In its filming and storyline. There's some, with these, there's this almost Inception layer to it. I think almost any movie that has deep thought of some kind, I just feel like is related to Inception. And I got some of those vibes in watching it as well.
You're giving this movie too much credit saying Inception.
I didn't say it was on the same level as Inception, but there were some elements of it that reminded me of Inception.
Yeah, I guess the dreamlike feel, getting to live out your desires and, not having to worry about anything. That's all fine. But there's just too many things that just, rip the rug right from under you, especially towards the end. Because initially, we think that the island is in control of everything, and that's what Mr. Roarke, which is Michael Pena's character, he kind of orchestrates everything and grants everybody their wishes, what they truly desired. And we find out kind of in the end that somebody else was kind of in control of it in a way. And that's what I think you were pointing towards when you were saying whether it's the island or this person. But we kind of have a lot to go through before we get to that point. But I kind of just wanted to mention that. But let's go ahead and rate this one. So the lowest rating is trash, middle is background noise, and the highest is a banger. So how'd you rate the film Fantasy Island?
I rate this one as high background noise. I feel like this film, it's a little high, but you know what? This film, I would have loved to have gone on a movie date and seen in a theater or some friends. It would have been a really fun one to watch.
You know, you had the chance. It was on Valentine's Day.
Oh, wow. Well, you know what? I didn't think I'd... Well, see, back then, I used to, think about the quality of film and what I really wanted to go pay and see. And that bar was high. But now that I can't see anything, bar is pretty low, I guess. So, so I would have loved to have been able to see this in a theater.
Yeah, one of those you just get a group of people and you just laugh at. I'm gonna rate this one as a low background noise. Now I did enjoy it up until the point, or really to the halfway point, whenever we got into the middle of everybody's fantasies. But as you just go further along, the movie just tries to explain everything, and that was a bad thing for this movie. And
it gets less and less magical.
Yes, and more confusing, and makes less and less of sense. So it's got to be a little background noise. I did enjoy some of it. There was definitely some comedic relief with Brax and JD, but it was mostly kind of like a thriller drama. Thanks for watching, and if you would like to be featured on our podcast, make sure to click the link in the description.